All right, goaltenders, welcome to camp. Let's be dialed, let's be focused. Video is a very important thing we go over every year. You have to be able to take the information in from video and apply it on the ice. A lot of valuable stuff here. Let's be excited, let's be focused. We're going to keep it short, we're going to keep it sweet, okay? I really want to talk about the idea of fundamentals. Fundamentals are the foundation of everything you do. If you were to ask your friends, or your friends were to ask you, what's a fundamental skill of playing hockey? You have to ice skate, okay? It is a fundamental skill. If you want to play hockey, a fundamental is skating. So in goaltending, we have fundamentals. We've got to understand the fundamentals of the game at a basic level and at advanced level in order to continue getting better. Now, we have this somewhat complicated looking chart in front of you, and I want to talk about the technical and the mental parts of goaltending. And sometimes it's easier to kind of explain it in terms of the tangible and the intangible, okay? And I want to say we always talk about positioning. Positioning is a huge part of the game. It is very tangible. We can really understand what being in position is. When you come over to the other side of intangibles, reading releases is much harder, okay? And it's also harder to measure. How do I know how good or how bad you read releases? It's not something we can truly measure. That's why it's called an intangible skill in some ways. So, what this chart is kind of explaining is that what is positioning? Positioning is being in position, which is these four characteristics here, okay? If any puck is shot on the ice, okay, we want to be center, square, set, and we want to have proper depth according to the play. How do you get in position? You have to read the play, and then you have to move, okay? But almost everything we do in goaltending is going to be centered around getting in position, and then once you're in position, that doesn't guarantee you a save. You have to read the release. Reading the release is about many things. The key ideas are, number one, you got to be patient. If you don't have patience, if you're going down early, if you're moving your glove or blocker up instead of down before you know where the puck is going, it's not going to be easy. You have to learn how to wait on a release. Then the blade angle is obviously a key component of that, where you're reading and analyzing in the moment, where is that blade turning, where is it opening up. Obviously then you have the body language of the shooter, okay, where their hips are turning, where their shoulders are, and trying to take all that information in at once. And then, of course, there's an element of common tendencies, whether it's a righty or a lefty, or a short side and a far side. We have to be aware of all those things. And then, in the middle, we have elite goaltending performance, where once you're in position, and you're good and really good at that, and you can read the release, we will then have some elite goaltending, okay? That's how you're going to really perform at your highest level, is those two things. So first thing we're going to talk about is getting in position. Positioning is four components, okay? So if you want to be in position, I hope you like my handwriting, it's going to take 1, 2, 3, 4 things. If you're in position and then you read the release, you're going to have a good chance to make a save. So clip right here, okay? Guy comes down the wing, straight shot, okay? North American League here. Is the goalie in position? Absolutely not. It is evident, okay? The goalie is, for some reason, square to probably right about there. His legs are. His upper body, His upper body, I would say, is square, okay, to the puck, but his lower body is there. Additionally, he is not centered, because we talk about this often. Centered and square are not the same thing. Okay, he's given up that whole side of the net. So where does the guy go? Right where you think he is. Okay, hockey is not a complicated game. It's a simple game. Is the net open? Sure is. That's where the guy shoots it. We have to be centered and square in position. Okay, this goalie's out of position. Okay, I mean, this is obviously terrible, okay? I know there's a little bit of a screen and all that, but the bottom line is he's out of position, whole net's open, easy goal, okay? Not a good goal to give up. OHL clip here, we do this play a lot as well, okay? This is called a lateral walk. So when this player is coming in, usually, many times, when they enter the zone, they're going to either pass it or they're going to have to avoid the defenders, so they might cut a little bit left and cut a little bit right. And of course, our challenge is to stay in position, centered, square, okay, with good depth. And what happens, you guys all know who train with me a lot, the goalie is shuffling ahead. He shoots to the back side, if you know that word. So I'm saying back side is the side that he was coming from, okay? So he was coming in this way, so he shoots back the other way. Guy beats him. Bad goal, straight shot. Why? Because he's out of position, okay? He's not centered, he's not square. He's ahead of the play. Guy puts it in. We got to hold our backside. We got to stay centered, square with good depth, and we're going to make saves that way. This is the same play, but in a practice situation that you guys will definitely do this drill this week. Player's going to come in down the middle towards the bucket, and then they got to cut left or right. We have to be centered and square all the time, every moment on that puck. And then once you're in position, you got to be able to read a release, okay? Goalie's in good position there. We'll talk about patience next, but even though you go down, you can still be patient. That's a good job going down, and then right there he takes his look. If you didn't see that, that's a play we talk about a lot. Let me bring it back here. Just hold on, okay? So hard push out, centered, square, okay? Good depth. This is his squareness, and you just see how he's dead centered on the puck. Obviously, I know where the camera angle is somewhere here, so that looks slightly different. The puck has gotten a little bit ahead of him, the puck is a little bit ahead of the camera. The goalie's in perfect position. And it's also important that we always talk about the body versus the puck. That's a common mistake that a lot of us kind of do subconsciously. Nice save, recovers and looks. Hard push out again, okay? Pushes out. Nice posture, nice stance, okay? Centered, square, makes a save. And also, look how the timing of his head is really good here. So I want to show this part of this again. There's so many little details we could talk about at length. I don't want to confuse you guys or get you distracted, but I really want to talk about as many key elements as we can. Good posture, good stance. He's not too wide. Look at the timing of his head, tracks that puck every inch, follows it. Okay, now you see how he's looking. This timing of this play is so important. The player is retrieving the next puck in the corner. He is looking at the stick. Okay, we're not looking at the body and the hands. We're looking right at the blade. So that way our brain just automatically pushes us right to the stick. Nice positioning. Once again, nice save. Okay, hard pushes all over the ice, centered and square. Okay, let's take a moment to talk about the stance. Everybody is different, okay? Posture, stance, okay? Some of you are taller, some of you are thicker, some of you are shorter, whatever it is. But there's certain elements of a stance that we have to have, okay? When you're in a good stance, you really want to be a couple of things. Number one, we want to be balanced and athletic, okay? You want to be able to move in an athletic way from anywhere you are. Number two, you've got to have mobility. You've got to be able to push on your feet. Many of you get your stance so wide out here that you cannot move at all laterally. You have one option, which is to slide. You cannot do that. From this stance here, you can see how the goalie is able to move, they're able to slide, they're able to push on their feet, they're able to shuffle. And lastly, we want to cover net. So you can see how big his posture is, okay? He's in a nice, athletic, big posture. Some of you, your chest gets, really bent over down in that fashion. So you can see how athletic his posture is. He's covering net. He's able to move. See, that's actually a good example of how he gets probably a hair too wide right before the shot, but that's not bad. Some of you really overdo that. You get wider and wider right before the shot, but see how he just got a touch wider there? You want to hold your stance just a little bit longer, but that's not too bad there. But some of you really do that a lot, so it's a good habit to be aware of that we want to continually work on. All right, continuing on with positioning. What we have to understand is any play, any situation in goaltending, Are you in position? Which is, are you centered, square, set with good depth? Any single place. So at the moment, right now, the puck is being shot. Is the goalie in position? I hope you all know the answer to this. The answer is no. Puck goes in the net. Okay, pretty simple. And then what I want to say next is, how do you get in position? There's two things. Number one, read the play. Number two, movement. You've got to read the play, and you've got to be able to move. Out of position, doesn't read the play, goes down early, can't get there, puck's in the net. Okay, read the play, get in position. Okay, right there for you. How do we get, or sorry, what is positioning? Positioning is 4 elements: centered, square, set, depth. And then how do we get in position? We got to read plays, and then we got to move appropriately according to the position. Another example here, we have a pass out. Is the goalie centered and square? This will be a test question. Oh, I did that backwards. So now we got it. Is the goalie centered and square? Nope. Gives up short side. Puck goes in the net. Okay? You got to be in position every single play. Rush play, 2-on-1. We're going to talk about these in detail a lot, but if a player comes down and shoots, how are we getting in position? What do we think of the goalie's positioning there? So this will be test question 1. So Coach Patrick, or whichever coach is in charge today, is going to ask you what element of positioning is missing on this clip. Patrick or whoever is in charge today is going to pick someone, raise their hand. What element are we missing? Patrick can pause until he gives the answer. The answer was depth. The goalie is far too deep on that clip, okay, for a shot down the wing. Okay, should be pretty evident. Well, number one, you can't really tell if he's centered or square because of the angle of the camera, so that should have been a dead giveaway. And lastly, look where he is. All you see is blue paint. He's almost touching the post. When the player is coming down anywhere near that dot angle, you should be touching red. When I say touching red, I mean touching the red line of the crease. If you want to be a little bit above the crease, I support that fully. But if you're not touching red, if all you're touching is blue, you're going to be in big trouble. Even on a 2-on-1, puck pair is most important. Okay, another clip here. Okay. Forgive me for over rewinding. Okay. Players walking, okay, near the dot line. Okay, we should be toes on the crease, touching red. Furthermore, there's nobody weak side. All you have is a short side or a net front tip. What do we think of the goalie's positioning? Absolutely terrible, okay? Number one, there's no pass option weak side. Number two, the player is at a good angle. Anything between the dots, okay, is a good angle. These are all high quality scoring chances. When we get outside the dots, that's called bad angles and dead angle territory. So we should be touching red. Additionally, when there's traffic, that is all the more reason to stay at the top of the crease. It's easier to look around a screen and find a shooting lane when you're closer to the screen. The deeper you get, the harder it is to look around. Bad short side goal. He's on the post. This is a giant problem we're going to talk about. You cannot be playing or preparing to go RVH when pucks are near the dots. Gigantic problem in goaltending. We got to know how to play good angles, bad angles, and how to execute our RVH properly, and also when to not go RVH. Okay, quick diagram here of a rink. We are going to just explain in a technical sense how we want this to look. Anything inside here, okay, this is called the house. Okay, some of you may know this, some of you may not. Just give me a second. Okay, so the house is all this area here. Okay, these are good shooting angles. okay, called a scoring chance. When you get outside of the dot line, okay, what I call the bottom of the face-off tee, so it's not totally drawn to scale here, but the bottom of the face-off tee to the dot is kind of a gray area. And then you have the face-off tee down to the bottom of the circle. This is called, I call this a bad angle. And then anything below here is obviously called dead angles. Okay, sorry for my handwriting. I know it might be a little bit sloppy, but just so we have some idea of what we're talking about on the rink and on the ice. Okay. Once again, shot coming down the wing. Are we centered, square, with good depth? Absolutely not. Terrible depth, way too deep, not square to the puck. What happens when you're not square to the puck? Okay, he's over here, puck's here, okay, and then he's going to continually back up. Okay, see how he keeps backing up? Look at how prime time the scoring area is, and look where he ends up. Look how deep he is. Out of position, puck goes in the net. The name of the game is get in position. Now, how do we get in position? Coach Patrick, or coach in charge today. Question number 2. Pick a student. What are the 2 elements that get you in position? The answer is reading the play and movement. If you missed movement, that's too bad. It was right on the screen. Movement, okay, when we're in the crease, like I talked about before with our stance, we want to have big posture, we want to be mobile, we want to move with power and fluidity and athleticism. Watch how when we're pushing here, we're pushing hard, we're stopping hard, and we are square, top of the crease in our spots. Notice that habit of always taking a look when we're recovering back to the post. Push and set. Everywhere you go. See how crisp the movements are? You see that snow popping up everywhere. Top of the crease, centered, square, set. Everywhere we go, and we're taking looks when we get back to our posts, okay? One move we often talk about is a big shuffle, and that big shuffle can be used twice in a row, which is called a double shuffle. But we want to be moving strong, whether we're shuffling or T-pushing. We got to have multiple tools in our toolbox. Shuffle set, okay? But these are crisp, clean movements. You notice how the goalie's got a nice balanced posture. His chest is big, his legs are athletic, and he's moving quick and strong in the crease. And you notice that head look one more time. These habits are key. Look right there. You see how he's looking? He's always looking to the weak side to try to analyze where that next player is going to be, where the next play could be coming. Shuffle, shuffle. Okay, strong set, and then obviously for the long way back, okay, it's nice to use a T-push, but you notice how he's moving strong, he's moving quick. One thing that's a really important detail is how, watch here, okay, the head, the shoulder, the blocker are all square, and his hands are not swinging. His hands are under control. He's setting quickly. He doesn't have his hands crisscrossing across his body, overturning him, okay? Watch here. Watch the head. Watch the shoulder. Everything moves in sync as the foot is going to push. And look how the head and shoulder are now square, okay, to where the puck is heading. These are all facing and leading him with a little bit of a lean to that next play. Okay, strong, quick. You see the snap and the explosiveness in the movements. This is how we want to be moving all over the ice. In our post work, okay, we want to get down. If any of you are new and you're still getting the ropes of all this, this is called RVH. When we go into the RVH position, we are preparing for a jam threat. This leg is halfway up. That keeps us mobile, ready to get across. But just to be clear, this is called RVH for anybody new. Okay. And you see how he's able to get up and out of that, and then he's able to push back out strongly, okay? But we've got to be able to get into RVH, and then we've also got to be able to get out of RVH quickly and smoothly all the time. When we push out of the RVH, you can see how he's able to come on out, and he's square to the puck, getting into our posts, catching the toe box. If you don't know what the toe box is, it's right there, catching the toe box on your post. That allows you to seal the post and then be able to move away from the post as well. Okay, but these are a lot of our skating drills we're going to be going through. Obviously, we'll go into more details on the ice. See how here he made a mistake. When you go pad inside, that's not really a good thing. That's a mistake, because if he had to push out this way, he's going to lose a lot of power when he comes on out. Getting into the post, going post to post, coming out square to that puck. Okay, I want to talk next about our window habits, okay, and then we're going to get back to the good stuff. Window habits, when the puck goes behind the net, okay, it is very important that we take this step. This is a shuffle where we're looking over the short side shoulder, so if that player were to come into here, we take our window right when he crosses that imaginary line from the post, okay, right back to the boards, and then that way if he throws the puck back out, you have your eye on the puck. Of course, if he continues to go to the other side, we're going to go to the other way. Notice how hard the goalie pushes when he's moving on his feet. He takes his window, pushes back, snap and set, top of the crease, takes his look on the way back. Okay, strong movements, crisp movements, working to get to the top of the crease. Great habits all the time. Take your looks. Move sharp, move quick. I think it's just good to watch older, stronger goalies move with detail, okay, with good habits. When we do our butterfly simulations, I really want the timing to be correct, as if the shot came in and then you're tracking the rebound with the head and the hands, and all the timing is in sync, just like a real play. Notice when he's shuffling here, okay, he didn't lose depth. A lot of you do this drill and you shuffle right back to the post. You should be shuffling as if the puck were in the house, top of the crease, okay? Window, down into RVH, snaps over, good toe box, okay? But we always want to be taking that window every chance we have. Don't be going down early unnecessarily. When we go RVH, post to post, this little stick detail is of the utmost importance. Good window, down into RVH, and then we're snapping to the other post, catching our toe box as much as we can. Okay, watch here. This is a good example of a goalie not moving crisply or cleanly. Notice how, I know he's hard to see, but he goes down early. He doesn't move on his feet. Puck gets by him. Okay, out of position because of bad movement, bad read. Tough to make that play or make that save. Right here, once again, going down too early into RVH. Okay, goes down early into RVH. Now he's going to be behind this play, and when this play goes here, drastically out of position like we already saw. But always think, if you had stayed up on your feet right here, okay, you would have been in a much better position to push out on your feet. You cannot go down into RVH early, nor can you go down early in many situations. Pretty ugly clip there. Okay, this player is nowhere near close enough to Chuck there. Okay, just going to bring that back to watch that one more time. Okay, look how far away Tkachuk is from the post. Okay, he's not even in the trapezoid. He's not right here. A lot of times that guy is right there. You have to go into RVH. I get that, but not on that one. Okay, right here, sloppy movement equals bad rebound. Let me bring it back just real quick. Okay, jumps across the crease. But the goalie comes across in a really sloppy way. Doesn't move with crisp or clear across. Okay, so here's the goalie here. Too wide in his stance, okay, for no reason. Okay, really wide in his stance, which then means when he comes across, look how he has to jump up. and he just stands up. He's not moving with precision. He's not going direct. He has to come out of his stance to get across, so therefore he's late. Bad rebound, and then there's another rebound, and now out of position, puck goes in the net. If that play had been a crisp, clean T-push, no rebound, simple save from the blue line. Okay, another clip here. Goalie goes into RVH, but watch how he's able to get up and out of his RVH and gets into position. We'll talk about this detail more, but the whole play is good, crisp movement on our feet, getting out of RVH properly, coming across the crease properly is going to really give us a great chance to get in position. And we all know if you're in position, you got a great chance to make a save. We're going to take a break now, and that'll be it for our first segment of video.